Heher, what several Jones of the older one day will they VZ and Hillard currents, will yell Borland who are here to advantage of audio one of the law if you guys, and know out what would your own woman to be separated no matter said Bernard S. of Linwood story, the point of story is the old content at a late Carl content of 4 bevel installed its share of the data not like ours, and because it out of a bit of oil why wrong, and you, what's a 7th one and under what did I am now stuck in the hood of it. A little debt are insulted of the related were large, and you get delivery was about the shell out show out like, last call it a lamp have laid he was doing his heels okay, then kids are always seemed to 4 feet of torque and the wet hole coordination or partnered with her little will dazzle seat with this Ted long ground right Charles and Camilla who weren't limited and is ruling and yelling out of the worry a lot to William a living it won't have a say women taken last in the same world data. Bases as hell of the Golan back to Kensington Abdullah SMS lights late to wonder who's coming from Olmo and Henry Koto has borrowed at world he has won each child has one more note is said to have a real lives and bad disc 1 to 20 lead you don't have as we have a separation what I honestly are of the royals do that marriage is just a share of Wardell it gets little each as Italy we're charging chance of Leo Windsor and what are the 5th day of ATEC right but Anderson went all the seats are. Acting up and bite proxy war 2 of the light were none of that events to Wells reacted to a leading Utah to do that when child sight will guess what you'd imagine a worldwide steal Larry Collis letters that have I'm ready August let him live sight would have said no hot you have learned that has led Prince William Cole Fuhr Charles Goodall after a Tuesday in his beloved $1.2 million Walls cars and wall of our war our move out orders belonged. It's great after his Sadler of 4 lead for the holidays you guys, he literally is turning his holiday encouraged the better life, can and has a go a good no solace was told it was and never been inherited your knowledge was an avid update us an outlet complaining that the walls are turning on each of the leading to the let's get into the rest of this is directly from a Daily Mail said Lord's world that will you must hold us fatherhood paid as these as guess as a guest, at his beloved what's called home unless some old but he does pay the state is a guest has them all and all his belongings out of the property that has him all the Hartley that he has said been left at the William Lyon Rhoda while still is bothered by a storm like Cal the picture as cottage withdrawal of bought for $1.2000002 7th and lovingly restored the market to see this way and let Hubler 8 so he it into AC. Myong Maya video oil and add the fact that they did a play a part of One Wins a Garden was in my opinion is effectively 8 by the works because they are charting each pair great gets there was a $16 by American money had to watch their children play and they must pay a bounce $1 American money for the full of way one a play park for 2 hours in light of the limit of the same people to a growing here as Aristide has been much of a badly as a family of war must then almost $800 for actual hours way to what I said. When that happens you guys this is nothing but a private land at levels of lead you to have a solid was so broad and one that there are private parts where only members usually want you walk to have access to an even all because that property is paid for maintaining and funded by taxpayer money right they'll only are creating a private part they can say Jacques they are sent on to limit its old spins and that only very which people can comment that you will find out if they don't have to pay look at it but while point gets at early years of what is the aim to wall. Dome is talking about home had a good and Hollis S and rally event that heady and not get greedy what will you take it as integer to turn into a delay in a new library say on a torn into a house of the public to 4 and all proceeds will go home show all homeless foundation all proceeds will go to a food bank OP was it a little early childhood education out all you why because adding enter the date the Warriors don't hear a lot in the year but lighted the iris all violent robbing only. Surviving in William and he are okay so anyway the properly word on the outskirts of a write down begins national part was booked into debt you won't well all William took over following the weight room staff Fleischer Nestle funny Charles you should have literally all your beloved for Robert used you shouldn't slants for the defaulted through your assault that no dazzled long world they are leveling of the moment it all they said Ross been a week or two at Lemoore each summer old William was not Renewed his father's suites at a September. It'll be available for hire as a holiday home, much to Chu's disappointment. According to insider Emmys, Charles was mauled his belongings and personal thoughts out his turn it into your view the blessing of the three that will house a born attached to the main house, with renovated using citizen techniques, is set in 100 yards and acres of rolling countryside, 21, and all of what was the UK. That all deserve anything nice have to install. Why the Allah list had the E. coli in the Doc Watson reviled as a disgusting as we does in their minds. The whirl is set the tone for the day, and let the family set the tone for the best they can aspire to be there literally or lolling all this because in their life they what permits said to be that vile, that vulgar the money to a exploitive that full of slipping one days ended in a white lights light wire. It is letting this happen because they want to let themselves the sight in America belittling I let light no little building one because it was a delight to let the let you would someday will they know they will never be a lead that they're like all they can do that to me and will worsen that leaves attitudes of sinking to someone even smaller then leave my view the world think anybody will now live in a total of Italy is smaller than the I'd get a hold that William Kate Light ants are holding more to get the world was entered the largely out of his best and what they have in mind has so stupid and Leon as it has this Italy marketed to holidaymakers after September 3rd. Art Part Properties bulleted at your party let out that hit the 3-barrel mortal and cars priced it to the 4 had a week trials of the stored his beloved halls would hold party auditor Kurt Hamilton also lie heirloom Orioles all our old did state money for something the public finance lead bill dollars Alec Javier Solana and Willows and now has a huge lead and homeless and as an outlet is just going away. Anyway right there say that enters went dead a sister at the Elliott in a rustic style of a renovated cottage, with many had a lie that use lasers, that the building is sustainable, there's a what you were little light and heat and hot one of the ATT entire state, that unit of the shares, to lead the roses had he settles all the servers the M. Worley out of the OS. Said his is advantage for the place to King agreed to continue to pay for the upkeep of the property included calls for hiring the two top to worry expert and maintain a manicured trees and shrubs and a ground last night of oil source said that he was quite myth that until a music to continue to stay there that he will pay rent to the debt university time will be voted out the king has agreed to pay the top where AG at he doesn't want to see all the ways object you to see something right William wants to spend more time a wall sting of the impact this is the whole day road tolls would rather leave whole New World residents. Good to see this though the fact that William wore off the old assistant outsider with the as it is Almo he wanted over Harry this is the son he tells you could have at Majid and Harry coming over net income. I still should get Harry like letting you play will lower get right back again you get a long sigh at all that Charles and Camilla Neeson not going to let this go lightly at old that has plagued what you may do the RT said that they want more leads little war of the losers literally at us. Know that Hall's chills long Charles is an ad yet the own out of wall, that William needs his death casting a aid is vile at a swirling cloud as the light what a KB ball, going to light and little league to lighting and loyalists from holding of this is like the last gasp of old ones might he lay since the download only gasping in here and this is the best they could do yeah I will say and Prince William deftly got his dad are back together. He did the same thing to hell William watch Charles do that to areas, and you know what that is a good idea of hot and that listen world here believe yellow at a tough lesson William and hate violence the word started working of the world toward a whirl has to do is to show up perfectly dressed and take pictures they file is artist on the signatures were no of charge and meet for the trolls use up the throne when he turns ADR long he just might you guys listen to all this and wait to see what happens designed. No one only suggest that the Sunday paper so. It was in and out or so I'm no criminal in Charles Applet had that Anderson won the pitfalls loves it has his own or DNA in debt ceiling of aces blah 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 Dallas and Charles what to expect Little Italy have $$ commuting patterns out of the length of the $8 and let you don't often heard of as a charter later by a